Listen, the versus battles. We've seen them. So far, the biggest one I probably have to say has been Gucci and Jezzy, you know. But they had a lot of other ones. I think Monica and Brandy, and then I think you got Keisha Cole and Ashanti about to set it off. You even had Patti LaBelle and Gladys Knight. They've went to every genres. Premier RZA. They've done it all. Do you guys like the versus battles? And who would you all like to see battle? Let's start with you first, Ed.
Well, I actually love the versus battle, but to be honest, man, since we've been transparent, the Jeezy Gucci Man was my least favorite one.
Really?
It's probably the most popular, but it's my least favorite because there was no interaction between them.
Yeah.
My favorite so far has been Snoop and DMX. I absolutely love that because Snoop, they were fans of each other's music. You know, they were singing along to each other's music. Snoop was up dancing around. X was being X. I just felt like it was too much tension between Gucci and Jeezy for them not to talk about their music or how, because that's the beauty of the versus battles, is listening to these guys talk about how their songs were made and what mindset they were in and how they felt the first time they heard somebody else's song. That's, to me, the chitter chatter between the two of them, the artists and their respect for each other is my favorite part of the versus battle. All that tension between, okay, I'm doing a song, you do a song, I'm gonna do a song, you do a song. I mean, if Gucci didn't do that song where he was being disrespectful towards Jeezy and Jeezy didn't say what he had to say, to me, it would have been underwhelming for me. And as far as who I would love to see in a versus battle, man, I just gotta, it's a shame that there's so many people now that are gone, that there's some music that we will never, ever get to see. But I would like to see Q-Tip, Jarobi, and my man Ali Shaheed Muhammad and Big Boy and Dre, Outkast versus Tribe Called Quest. Yeah. I would love to see it.
I think the energy between them two would be great, like it was with Erykah Badu and Jill Scott.
That was incredible energy. Too Short and E40 had incredible energy. RZA and Premier, that was amazing energy. I just felt like some of those, the energy was just a little bit off. Like I just thought the Jeezy and Gucci energy was way off, man. Tense. It was just way off.
Real tense.
Yeah, tense.
Kwamé?
Yeah, you know, I think I agree with Ed about the Gucci and Jeezy, and I think it was technically the biggest because that's when all the other side deals, like with Apple and all these other things, came into play. So the audience was bigger, but I don't think it was necessarily the best. Honestly, if you really want to be honest, I liked them when it was just people inside their house doing it on their FaceTime, and there was like a whole crappy.
You talking about Teddy Riley? You talking about Teddy Riley? Wait, they hear me?
Yo, I'd rather see that.
You hear me?
I'd rather see that.
Y'all hear me?
And you got Babyface laid back, just like
with candles and shit.
Yeah, yo, man, to me, that's classic versus. But if I had to pick a versus that I would want to see, New Edition versus New Edition. Like, put them all in the room, BBD break up, then you got Bobby over here, New Edition. That's all I want to see. I don't want to see no more after that. New Edition versus New Edition, and shut it down from there.
I'm about to make a lot
of... You wouldn't want to see LA and Babyface together versus Jam and Lewis?
Oh, of course. I would love to see that.
That's real.
I would love to see that.
Well, me, the two people I always envision, I would love to see a battle of the icons. I would love to see Michael Jackson go against Prince with Sheila E. playing all of Prince's music and Janet playing her brother's music.
That's something. That's what I'm talking about. And I also said this: you can also go and you can get Tupac's brother to represent him and let Biggie's daughter represent Big and play all Big versus Tupac stuff. Like, I don't think that because people have passed away that their music should get lost like that. Like they shouldn't not have a versus battle because they're not alive. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
I just think the versus idea is dope because a lot of that stuff I pay money to see.
Go. I'm sorry. Go.
I do love the whole concept of versus, but sometimes I just get caught up because I actually like the competition. I sometimes want to see a winner And that might be selfish of me. And I just think like with Verzuz, it's 20 songs, but there's really no criteria. For example, I looked at the Nelly and Ludacris battle. I looked at Ludacris, the streets was Ludacris, the club bangers, Ludacris. But then I'm looking at every time Nelly play a song, he's bringing a Grammy or a diamond plaque to the camera. But like most cats wasn't listening to Hey There Portia. You know what I'm saying? So Nelly can't. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And that, but see, that's the thing I don't like about, I agree with you. The thing I don't like is you have two artists, two individuals that put in all their hard work, right? And now you put them on a Verzuz, and now you have the general public either diminishing their catalog or bringing up their catalog. And I think is whack. Like, you know, you say so-and-so versus such and such, and then they'll be like, oh, well, so-and-so ain't got enough hits. No, like, who's fault? Is it their fault? Like, you know, like, stop putting the talent, that part about it, I don't like. So maybe the term Verzuz gives you that thought pattern to do that. And I don't know what other kind of term that'll bring people in, but that's my only discrepancy. But other than that, you know, but my favorite one though was Bounty Killer. That was personally my favorite one because that was the first one.
Beenie, I forgot about that one.
Yeah, the first time you saw the two artists in the room together, and then the cops come and break it up, it was still grimy. There was still a grimy factor to it, and they were both joking on each other, and that camaraderie that them two had, even if you're not into the reggae music, it was big for that culture. It was big for the reggae culture, but it was also great to see the two artists finally in a room together.
And especially them two dudes, Leon, because I have always been a big fan of dancehall reggae, and Kwam know that your MTV Raps, we took MTV Raps to Jamaica every year since '91 to cover the biggest dancehall reggae sunsplash that happened every year. Those dudes had real beef, like real serious beef. Like beef is deeper than Gucci Mane and Jezzy. Them two dudes did not mess with each other. Bounty and Beenie did not. Even at Sunsplash, they had to have armed guards escort each other to the stage and be on that stage. This is how heavy it was between who was the king of the dance hall at that time. And for them to put that stuff to the side and be together at the same place, bouncing off of each other, loving each other's music, that was huge for dance hall music, man.
Yeah,
it was huge.
Yeah,
it was huge. Now give me some Shabba versus Ninja, man, and I'm good.
But just for the cops coming to break it up, and you know, just the way Beenie was taking shots, you know, it was hilarious, man. That to me was like
that was dope.
The best one to me.
I'm not gonna lie, I love the Patti LaBelle, Gladys Knight, especially when Dion came out, because I was like, "Oh, is she gonna make it the whole segment? Don't get too excited around here." I said, "They get too excited, man. Calm down, Dion. Let's just get through this segment." I held my breath the whole time, but I do like the verse. I just wish there was a little bit more criteria to it, so we could be like, you know, in friendly competition. I won, or you know, just. I know it's about the music, but sometimes I really be sitting back.
Man. Like, for the culture, and it's good for the culture. It's good for the artists. I think it's dope for the culture. I mean, I heard already some artists are saying that they're not going to do it. I heard, but who could you put up against Mary J. Blige? I heard Mary say she's not going to do it first.
Unique, though. That's a unique voice. Like, who could you put up against her?
Who's touching Mary?
That's unique. It's a unique.
Maybe it has to see, but you know, the only person that can go up against, and y'all gonna look at me crazy, but there's only one person that can technically go up against Mary. And
who's that?
Robert Kelly is in jail. So
yeah, like, true. I hate to bring him up, Leon. That's the only dude that I think. I'm sorry, bro. I know everybody's like, don't mention that name. But musically, let's take the weirdo creep away from him. Musically, he's the dopest artist of our generation. The only dude I could see that could stand on that Verzuz stage with Rob and go song for song, written song for written song, production for production is probably Stevie Wonder. That's it, bro.
And Stevie Wonder will tell you that.
Oh, you don't think a Prince could?
Absolutely.
I mean, it takes somebody like that. Nobody from
I'm just talking about straight R&B.
Not a Chris Brown, not an Usher.
No.
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 No. Remember, Same Girl was an Usher record that he wrote. Rob wrote that record.
But what about Breezy? That's another animal, man. That kid is another animal.
But he don't see. But here we go. We're about to diminish catalog. He don't have the bona fide 100% worldwide hits that R. Kelly has. He has records that come in and go out, come in, go out. I don't know.
Breezy?
Man.
No, I don't know, Kwame, on that one, man. I'm still, excuse me, miss. That's one of his first. I still rock that.
But let me add this to it. Remember when you do a versus Leon and Kwame, they do everything that you've ever done. So if you said Kwame is going to do a versus, people would think about the music Kwame put out under Kwame. They're not going to count what Kwame produced. You dig? When Rob gets into what he produced, it's over. He wrote the Angel record for Celine Dion, dog. Come on, when he gets into, if he can run down what he produced alone and kill most people's whole career, the Sparkle record, the Changing Faces records, this dude is a monster, dog.
Records, I get it.
And on both sides, he's a monster.
R. Kelly is the DNA. R. Kelly and Mary J. Blige are the DNA of R&B, period, of modern R&B.
Yeah.
So that's the only two matchups. I can't see anybody going up against. We're gonna put against, like, who could you possibly put against Mary? Like, that's really think about it.
I just feel there's some people that you can't battle. I don't think you can battle with Mary J. I don't think you can battle with Jay. What you going in down 20. If you go battle Jay-Z, you down 20.
Snoop could have battled Jay-Z.
Absolutely not. I disagree, brother. Absolutely not.
Dr. Dre can. Dr. Dre can.
Another level, but not as a rapper, as a producer, though. The stuff that he made was rapping.
No, rapping. No. Yeah. But they're going to count everything.
The reason why I say Snoop is because Snoop has the amount of years that Jay-Z has. Even though Snoop has 3 more years on Jay-Z, they can go year for year for the last 20 some odd years. You know what I'm saying?
But I think go. I think with Snoop, real quick, I think there's a drop off with Snoop, whereas Jay had a drop off, but it wasn't that much of a drop off. It was still controlling 11 summers or whatever.
You only get 20 songs, so both of them can have 20 solid records together.
That's
fair. Snoop didn't do all his hits. When he did that versus against DMX, he only did 20 records. I was like, where's
Snoop has way more records than DMX.
Yeah, way more records that he didn't do.
We're gonna continue this conversation because I like this right here. We're gonna continue this conversation when we come back. Let's pay some bills. We'll be right back. More later with Leon. Back with later with Leon with my man Ed Lover, and of course the boy genius, the polka dot kid Kwame in the building. Blessed to have these brothers on with me. We were talking verses and we were getting into some what if battles. And on the break, y'all don't hear us talking, but we came up with one. What about 4-way battle? Let's go Kanye, Dr. Dre, Pharrell, and we're going to throw my man Jermaine Dupri in there. Ooh. Now, or we could substitute, or we could throw an extra one. I'm going to put a female in the game. Missy Elliott, because I think for 20 records, a lot of people don't want to smoke with her neither.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't want to smoke with Dallas Austin either. Throw Dallas Austin in there. He got records.
But you could do Dallas Austin versus Dungeon Family.
That's hard too.
Dungeon Family, that's tough. Anybody versus that Dungeon Family is tough, bro.
That's tough.
That's tough. Goody Mob. That's Goody Mob plus CeeLo individually with Gnarls Barkley. Then you got Big Boy and all that he's done. Then you got Outkast's music. Then you got Dre and all the features that Dre got. Come on, man. Dungeon Family gonna be tough to touch, bro. That's tough. I'm
finna touch the NY guys' nerves right now. I know I'm finna touch a nerve right here. But Battle of the Big Fellas. B.I., the Notorious, Rick Ross.
Biggie all day.
Is that the New York view, or are we being objective?
I'm being objective because to me, Biggie was one of the most gifted lyricists I've ever heard. in my entire life. Ross don't even come close to how dope Biggie is. He might have a bigger catalog because he lived longer and had more albums, but Ross ain't even close to how dope Biggie was. And I love Rick Ross. And I would never say anything on Later with Leon that I wouldn't say in Ross.
In person, absolutely.
That's fact. He's not even close. Jay's not even close to how dope Biggie was.
Okay, so you putting him
not even lyrically.
It's Michael Jordan and the rest of the league.
Yeah, it's the Jordanaires.
Okay.
Yeah, I think with Big, we don't know what was to become. You know what I'm saying? And I think Ross is a offshoot of what Big was. You know, it's you couldn't put him in an equal position in any kind of situation. I don't think you could ever put a Ross and a Big in an equal position. And I think Biggie has more tangible, classic, all-time hip-hop hits than Ross does. You know, that's the thing. And y'all can correct me if I'm wrong. I feel like a lot of the newer cats within the last, say, 10, 15 years, minus a few, have now records. Like, these are right now, and then 5 years from now, we're not really going back to these records. We're waiting for the new thing, right, where we can play a Reasonable Doubt song. We can play a Southern Playalistic song. We can play a Ready to Die song right now, and the little kids gonna know it. The teenagers gonna know it. You know, the young adult and people in our generation are gonna know it. And correct me if I'm wrong. Would a Rick Ross have that? Does he have that at this point in his career? How many records? How many albums he has out at this point in his career?
Oh, he got more than a couple of albums now. Port of Miami is a classic.
Port of Miami is a classic. Port of Miami does not touch Life After Death or Ready to Die.
Nah, that's what I'm saying. But I will say something. I don't know if it's in defense of New York. New Yorkers do have a very skewed view of Biggie because you take it anywhere around the world, it's not that.
He's not the greatest ever. He's not the GOAT.
Biggie's not in the high shelf as, say, a Tupac would be outside of the East Coast. People revere Biggie. People know exactly what it is. But you go to other countries, and I'm talking about being like a world traveler and going into listening to hip hop and seeing what people are really pulling in. He is there. He's an iconic figure, but people will throw probably Pac in the highest point more than anybody over anybody.
Yeah.
So it's like
Pac made records that touch your heart and your soul. That's the big difference between them. He wasn't lyrically as profound.
No. He can never touch Biggie lyrically at all.
Lyrically, it's just night and day, but he made records that touch your heart and soul, and that's why everybody loved him.
Yeah,
I always put me as an avid hip hop listener. I always put Tupac and DMX in the same category. Like I wasn't really blown away by anything they said lyrically, but Tupac made me want to go out and fight white people. Period. Like Chuck D did. Chuck D had bars, but Chuck D said, go outside and sell bean pies. And I'm like, yeah, Chuck, I'm going. I'm going to sell these goddamn bean pies. Pac was the same way. Pac be like, picture, paragraph, pizza, page. And I used to be like, I don't know what he's saying, but the first somebody that say something to me, I'm slapping them. Black nationalism, black pat. Like that's what I get from DMX. You know what I'm saying? DMX made me want to go to church, then go rob somebody. Like it's the passion in their music. I get that.
Right after church. Yeah,
but what does what would Biggie's records make you want to do?
So now this is why I said Rick Ross. Biggie painted a picture of the street life of a big brother riding in Benz, getting rich, getting his paper, money. But then he'll have songs like Me and My Bitch, talked about his relationship. Then he has a song like Niggas Bleed Just Like Us, but it's a story. I feel Ross does the same thing as some of his, like Ross make me want to go get a brick and chop it up and see if I can get out here. I know I can't. I know this is not my life. Guys like him, guys like Pusha T, when I listen, I be like, oh, I can sell dope. Look how easy they make it sound. And I think that's part of it for me, like the how the music grabs you and you ride like the production and still he got a nice flow of it. Yes, it may be emulating Biggie, but I call it the Kobe Bryant theory. That didn't take nothing from Kobe. Kobe Bryant was a carbon copy of Michael Jordan. Can we agree?
Absolutely.
But he was a dog nonetheless. And if there's anybody that's going to mirror Mike and be able to offset him, is his carbon copy.
Yeah, no, I just feel like Ross has the potential to just. I just feel like he could be more. Like I don't know how to put it, because I think he has that potential. And I think like his beat selection is incredible. I think his beat selection is better than 99% of every rapper out right now.
Incredible.
You know what I'm saying? Like just off of that alone. So I don't know if there is a disconnect. I don't know. Maybe it's not what the kids want to even hear. They don't want to hear anything. They probably want to hear whatever else. I don't know.
All right. Listen,